No, I did not. I have not had a son.
Your son was in the last 24 hours.
I told you I didn't want a belt before. I told you that. I'm not hiding anything from you.
Meet Ivey Lewis, the world's most neglectful mother. Because right now she thinks she's going home after taking the life of her son.
Yeah, I wish I was a better mom.
And for whatever guilt you're feeling about being a mom, now is the time.
But even now, detectives have no idea the kind of case they're dealing with. Because the deeper they look into that apartment, they will find increasingly disturbing secrets. From Prince's tragic final hours to his evil mother's lies.
I'm just tired of being blamed for something I didn't do, man.
He had on his side that were scabbed over, there were some were new.
On February 9th, 2020, a 911 call was placed from a nearby gas station in Tacoma, Washington. One that would set in motion an investigation nobody saw coming. The caller was a man named Joshua Puent, reporting that something was wrong at a nearby apartment. What they found was far from a routine welfare check. Lying on the living room floor was 3-year-old Prince Lewis. Standing nearby was his mother, Ivey Lewis, calm, disoriented, and offering very little to authorities. Prince was rushed to the hospital, but he had already passed away. Now, detectives weren't just trying to determine the cause of Prince's death. They were trying to understand how a mother could let it happen. And to do that, they brought Ivey in for questioning.
Do you understand these rights that I explained to you? Okay, having been made fully aware of these rights, you voluntarily wish to answer questions?
Well, no, I don't want to answer any questions. I'd like an attorney. Hang on one second. I don't know what that guy's over there saying, and I just don't have time for it.
For what? I didn't understand what you said. Something about a guy?
Yeah, I seen Joshua walking with you guys when you came in.
Wasn't he the one who called 911?
Was he?
I don't know. I thought that he was. Wasn't he with you?
I was by myself.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right. Go ahead and sip on that, and we'll figure out what's going to happen as far as what we do with you then. Certainly, it's going to force us to make some decisions regarding you as well as Jacoby tonight. Okay? And so we'll have to step out and sort through that. All right? Mm-hmm. Well, I mean that without hearing from you what happened, it's going to make our decisions as far as what we do tonight very difficult. And if you want to speak to an attorney first, that's absolutely your right, and we can have that arranged, but certainly won't be now, at 10:30 at night on a Sunday. And so now we're going to have to decide what to do with you. We're at your apartment dealing with your older son. We're going to have to make a lot of decisions. So it just increases the challenge, certainly. All right? Okay. Okay. Back with you. You will be taking this.
I'll answer a couple questions.
I want to be very clear on that, though. If you want to speak with an attorney, that's your right. I'm not going to go around that.
I mean, it's just always safe to have one.
Sure it is. And if that's what you want to do, then that's your right. If you want to answer questions, you certainly can.
I can answer a couple.
Ivey just agreed to talk, after first trying to lawyer up for an innocent grieving mother. That's an interesting place to start. And the man Ivey spotted being walked in when she arrived, Joshua Puent, is the one who called 911 tonight. He's sitting in another room right now. Detectives are about to hear two very different versions of what happened in that apartment.
Okay, so Ivey, obviously what we want to talk about tonight is what happened to your son Prince. And one thing to keep in mind is that we were not there initially when those first officers got there, and so we're still trying to piece together exactly what happened. And so when you had mentioned Joshua, and I suggested that maybe he was the caller, I don't actually know, and so I wasn't trying to be like sneaky or coy or anything like that.
I didn't see you guys trying to hide him, but I seen him.
No, he's not. We're not trying to hide him. We have. Let me tell you who we have. Joshua here, and we have. Christopher wasn't here. Who was the, I don't know, sometimes of Joshua's, maybe he was that one here. But there's two people here, I believe.
Yeah, I don't know the other one.
We don't know the other one. Okay, it may have been a friend of Joshua's, because from what I understand, and again, if I get this wrong, tell me, because I was relaying what the officers told us, is that a 911 call came from maybe the AM PM or something from Joshua, that he called for help for your son, and that he maybe had gone then to a second friend's house and then had come back when the police came. So that's my understanding of that. Was Joshua at your apartment when you guys discovered something was wrong with Prince?
I let him know.
You let him know?
Yeah.
So he wasn't there when you found out something was wrong?
No, I found him in the living room.
You found Prince in the living room, and then you called Joshua for
Joshua
help?
showed up.
Did you call him to come and help?
He was already on his way showing up.
Oh, he was already.
That's when I woke up and I went out. That's when I checked on him.
Were you planning on Joshua coming over?
He usually shows up. I used to date him.
Joshua?
Yeah, well, he tried to, and then he just does stuff that I don't do, and I don't do.
Tell me like what?
His own business, his choice of whatever he does. That's just,
Oh, that you weren't in your apartment?
yeah, at all.
Okay, all right. So you didn't want Joshua around if he was going to be using and whatnot?
Yeah. I mean, it's not what you know how you do it. Whatever you got going on, I don't think nobody want to know or care for that. Like,
yeah, well, I would understand that. I mean, if you had small
yeah,
kids and whatnot. Yeah, for sure. Okay. So Joshua has been welcome off and on, but as of last night, or I guess 2 nights ago then now,
2 nights ago, yeah.
you asked him to leave.
I started talking to a dude named B, and then I didn't really know his real name, and that didn't go good either.
Tell me, are you saying V or B? D? The letter D is the name you know, somebody you were talking to. When was the last time D was at the apartment?
A couple of days ago.
Okay. So if we're talking that today is Sunday, it sounds like if I got it right, you asked Joshua to leave, was that on Saturday night or Friday night or?
Literally yesterday.
Yeah, it was what?
Literally yesterday night.
Yesterday, so that would have been Saturday at some point you asked Joshua to leave. And was Dee there before that? And you haven't seen Dee since when? Thursday, Friday? Tell me if you can remember. I know it's tough.
No, it's like Thursday or Wednesday.
Thursday or Wednesday since Dee's been there? All right. And you don't know anything more about Dee?
No, he's just light skinned, short curly hair.
Mm-hmm. How'd you meet him?
Really friendly.
Okay. And that wasn't going to work out with Dee? You didn't care for him?
Same thing as Eric, so.
Oh, okay. All right. That he wanted to bring him to the apartment.
I said bruises all over my body.
You have bruises all over your body from Dee? Is this something that had been going on for some time, or was it a one-time event?
It happened 3-4 times.
3 or 4 times? Okay.
It's almost impressive how casually Ivey describes the parade of men rotating through her apartment. Men she barely knows. Men who used around her. Men she can't fully name. Eric, the father of her infant, Jacoby, is currently in jail for he beat Ivey while she was pregnant. What detectives are quietly piecing together is this. Prince Lewis had no consistent adult in his corner. What he did have was a mother who had jumped through every hoop of a 3-year CPS dependency case to get him back, and who, the moment the case was almost over, stopped paying attention. The social worker's last visit was a month ago. Prince had no marks then.
Tell me exactly what you saw. Was he responsive to you?
His eyes were just fluttering.
Okay.
Not really, I've never seen it like that.
Okay. All right. And what did you do?
I picked him up and I tried to wake him up.
Okay. All right. Did you take him somewhere?
He was really cold. I took him to put some water on his feet.
Okay.
That was it, and I took him straight to my room and the police showed up.
Okay, so tell me more about that. I saw that the bathtub had water.
Yeah, I just wanted to be warm.
Okay, so you tried to warm him? He felt cold to you? But did you tell me that you found him in front of the heater?
Heater, yeah, that's what made me, I knew something was wrong.
Because he was in front of the heater that was on. But he felt cold.
The heater really works in that, but you have to use the oven.
Oh, that heater doesn't move?
They barely, you can go in there, when I moved in that apartment, it's just raggedy. Like, they haven't fixed nothing in there.
I see.
I just had my house inspection like a couple days ago, and I filled the house because they didn't fix anything in the house.
Oh, I see. Okay. So let's talk about Prince, though. He was in front of the heater. It looked like maybe he had some burns on his face.
I'm not, because I went up there and saw and seen him.
Okay, so do you think that's from the heater or for something else?
I'm not sure.
Okay, all right. So did you have to put water in the bathtub, or was it already filled?
I put a little bit of water in the bathtub.
All right, so, because I saw some toys and bubbles and things in that water, so you filled that?
No, it was already in. I freaked out and I was just putting water in his feet, so.
Okay, yeah, was he responding to you at all?
A little bit.
Okay. Did he have any clothes on when you first found him on the floor by the heater?
We got pants and a shirt on.
What happened to those clothes?
They should be somewhere right there.
I mean, did you take them off? How did they get taken off?
I don't know.
Okay, Ivy, come on now.
I really don't know.
Because, did you see what he was wearing when the police got there?
A hoodie?
Yeah, so where did that come from? Who put the hoodie on?
When I put him in the shower and got him wet, I didn't know what to do.
Was the shower water hot?
It was hot. It was warm.
But so you don't think that that's what burned his face?
No.
It wasn't that hot?
No, I would never buy it. No.
Okay. And if I'm understanding right, you're saying that the heater doesn't work well enough to burn him.
If you go close to it, you could.
How close was he to it? Talk about, was he this close? Was he this close? Was he this close?
It was like
That close to the heater? Was his face towards the heater? Or, tell me how he was facing.
the TV.
He was facing the TV, but he had burns on his face. Okay. When was the last time you saw your son Prince before you found him on the floor in front of the heater?
When I brought him the strawberry, the pastry, and the strawberry milk.
Okay. At that time that you brought him the pastry and the milk, was he totally normal?
He had a scar under his eye, but his face wasn't like
I
that.
saw a mark under that. Okay, but his face wasn't, it looked like burned maybe. It wasn't like he had a mark under his eye. How did he get the mark under his eye?
He runs into the wall and stuff when he gets mad. Like, he runs into the wall, the toilet, he just does, I don't know. I don't know what happened or what went wrong. Like, I did bathroom, he got touched by somebody, and then he said, yeah. He tried to say it was his old foster parents. I don't know.
Oh, you asked him what happened to him?
I asked why he started to act like that.
As far as running around and...
Just running into stuff. But I know he was with his foster parents. Like, they let him think it was okay to he was to play baseball. So they let him think it's okay to start running and diving.
The marks that I saw on him were not from running into things. It looked like the marks that I saw were inflicted on him by a person, by an adult.
Yeah, I didn't see it.
Okay, so it sounds to me...
It was
Okay, I understand, but also there's something that's really important, Ivy, is the marks that he had on him were... there were some new ones, and there were some old ones.
No, I touched him. I seen.
He had a lot of scars on him.
I seen that when I woke him up. I tried to wake him up.
But you've seen him without clothes on before today.
The marks weren't there. He had he came with those I don't.
Okay,
I didn't let the wrong group of people around him.
And that may be the truth. That may be the truth. I don't disbelieve you because the wrong people were around him, but we need to figure out who that was because we need to figure out who put those marks on it because if it wasn't the other people, then it was you. And if it wasn't you, then we need to be talking about who it was. He had scabbed over injuries on him, which means that they didn't happen today, they happened at some other time, and he had scars from older stuff. So he had scars, he had scabs, and he had brand new bleeding wounds. Okay?
Yeah.
So those are 3 different time periods when your son was hurt. And that's what we really need to focus on, what happened to him. And from my perspective, and you and I go back years now, I mean, this is now 5 years, 4 years that we've been talking, right? So I know you just a little bit, but you also know that I've been doing this a really long time.
I know that.
Yeah. And before I did the stuff where you and I had met previously, what I did was I helped families with hurt. Okay, I did that for a really long time. So I'm familiar with this, I've seen it before, and I spent a lot of time helping families work through what happened to their all right? And I think that you and I need to be real clear that somebody hurt your son, and that caused him to have injuries that appear to be significant enough to have caused him to die. Okay? You're aware that he died, right? Your son did not make it. Your son did not make it.
Ivy may have just learned that her son didn't make it, but take her tears with a grain of salt and consider the following. It wasn't cold in that apartment. It was so hot that when the first responders arrived, they could barely breathe. Prince had been sleeping on the couch in the living room because his air mattress had been taken away as punishment for wetting the bed. The medical examiner found injuries in 3 distinct stages on Prince's body: scars from weeks prior, scabbed wounds from days prior, and fresh bleeding wounds that were new. Someone had been hurting this child repeatedly over an extended period of time.
So if you had something to do with it, then we need to be real clear about doing something to him that you didn't mean to happen. Because I don't think that you meant to harm your son. I truly don't.
So all I did was make him stand in the corner too long.
Okay, tell me how long that would be. Give me an example.
Like 2 hours.
2 hours in the corner? Okay. But what would happen if he left the corner?
He doesn't leave the corner.
Okay. Have you ever hit your son with a cord?
No.
Have you ever hit a hanger?
No.
What about a spoon or anything besides your hand? You've never done it?
My hand.
Okay. Tell me about any other adults in his life over the last 6 months that have done something besides their hand. Are you confident in saying that Joshua didn't do this? Did Joshua hurt your son? Did Joshua?
No, I would hope I know that's not to like, no, he would not.
So is it fair to focus on D? Is that fair? Because I don't want to accuse somebody of doing something they didn't do.
Yeah, I know.
And you seem like you're a little hesitant to get me in trouble. And I feel like for you...
Because I get hit on too.
I know. And so here's what I feel like for you, is that you're defending him.
I'm not defending.
Well, I know. Because you're worried about you.
For my family.
Sure.
Not to see.
And you've had a real rough time of it. You've had a hard life. And I feel like you're falling back on a little bit of your street ways.
No, I'm trying to stay away from it. I was hanging on the wrong people again, like.
Sure. But you've always been real hesitant to tell the police the truth. Because that's just all you know, right? That's all you know. And I get that about you. And I don't hold that against you at all. That's the life that you've grown up. Okay? The police are not your friend because you gotta survive on the street. I get that, Ivy, I get that. But now we're talking about
true. That's not true.
Okay, but now you're...
Police are good people.
I appreciate
they're trying to help.
I appreciate that. But so now we're trying to help you figure out what happened to your son. Okay? Somebody hurt your son that caused him to die. And I don't want to see you get into trouble for something that you didn't do. But it's also really important to me that we're clear on any of the times that you hit your son with something, discipline him in some way, even if you didn't mean to harm him. Because that's explainable. It is not acceptable and it is not explainable to me for you to say, I just saw him tonight with all these marks and injuries all over his body, and that was the first time I'd seen him. That's just not true. It's just not true.
The scars that before he plays rugby. I know those.
But he has scabs.
Yeah, I don't know those guys.
Okay, he's got the mark under his eye. His forehead is bruised and bulging. He's got a mark on the side of his head. Somebody in the head.
Not that I know. I know. Not in front of me.
Okay, so when was the last time D was around? Because I'm telling you what happened to your son happened today, Sunday, or Saturday. That's it. That's it. Even if D had hurt him Wednesday or Thursday when you said he was last over, you would have known something was wrong before now. You would have known. Unless you're telling me that you haven't really seen your son since Wednesday or Thursday, which I don't believe. Tell me what other marks you saw on him.
I was so distraught after
But it sounds to me like you found him on the floor and he had clothes on. What was the very first thing that you thought was wrong with him as far as seeing some sort of...
I thought he was having I thought he was a seizure, and I thought he was too close to that heater.
Okay, so you moved him away from the heater.
I moved him.
And then you saw that something was wrong with his face. I'm just guessing, is that true?
Yeah.
Okay. And then what did you do from there? You took his clothes off?
No, I went to the bathroom. He didn't have clothes on.
Oh, in front of the heater he didn't. I thought you said
Before I went to sleep, he had pants and shirt on.
I got you.
When I went out there, he didn't have nothing on.
Gotcha. Okay, I misunderstood that. So when you saw him without clothes on, what marks did you see on his body?
Scratch. All type of things.
He had marks on his side that were scabbed over. There were some were new that looked pretty fresh, like in the last couple of days. How did those get there?
I couldn't tell you.
I'm sorry.
I can't tell you.
You can't tell me? Okay.
No.
Okay.
I
I know. But I think that you can narrow it down as far as if it wasn't you, who was it? And if there's no other options, then you're leaving me with you being the only option. Here's what I know about parenting little kids. They're hard. Okay?
Yeah.
They're hard.
I have an 8-9-year-old. I know.
You have a 9-year-old, but he's been with his grandma for a
He
while.
comes to my house every other weekend.
Okay. Does he ever have any injuries?
No.
Or have to discipline him?
Unless I do something, get off the game or go sit in the corner.
Okay, sure. All right. So then we have Prince, who has marks all over him like he's...
I know.
So, did you do that?
No, I did not. No.
Because I know little kids are busy and they get into things. And sometimes we want to swat them or do whatever to try to
Most of the
stop.
things I have out for them is stuff that they can get into. It's not.
Okay. So if you didn't whip him with something, a cord or a hanger or something, who did? If it wasn't you, who was it?
Dean?
Are you sure? Okay. So you understand now that you're suggesting to me that he did something to cause your son's death. What do you think should happen to him? Okay. Is that going to make you feel safe or afraid?
Both.
Okay.
I did not want to wake up to this.
I know you do. Nobody does. Nobody does. Nobody wants to wake up to this. Nobody wants to have this happen, especially after you worked so hard to get to this place where you're finally stable. You're in housing.
I did it all for him.
You what?
Did it all for Prince.
Well, for Prince. And you had Jacoby the whole time. And you didn't even get to have Prince when he was little, right?
I did for 10 months.
Well, and then...
And that's why I loved him. I fight so bad. I fight so hard for that boy.
Okay. And now this happened to him. It's concerning to me that this happened to him when he was placed back in your custody. That this didn't happen to him when he was in foster care, but it happened to him when he was back with you. And so earlier tonight, when you came to the police station, we were having to figure out who did this to your son. And if you didn't want to talk about Dee or some other person, you left us no choice that it was going to be you, because you wanted to say that you're the only one caring for your son. Then what happens is that you're going to go to jail for hurting your son. And if that's not what really happened, I don't want to do that to you. I don't want to do that to you if that's not what happened.
But even now, detectives are still piecing together what Prince's final hours actually looked like. Because when officers searched the apartment, they found one more piece of evidence: a taser sitting on the kitchen table. And the marks on Prince's chest were consistent with it.
Have you ever been to court?
Never been to court. I was with a belt before. But that...
How long ago did you get the belt?
Months ago.
Okay. Tell me what the circumstances were. What did he do that caused him to get the belt? Because I want to learn about his behavior.
No, I think he just did something with a little girl that you shouldn't be doing at your age.
Something sexual?
Yeah, they were wearing their underwear, like cuddling and stuff. So
Who was the little girl?
it's Damari.
Oh, who is she?
It's like a god niece, I would say.
Okay. All right. And so the belt to try to stop him from doing that, or tell him that was not
It was not okay.
Okay.
We would take his clothes off in front of people.
Okay, all right. Did he seem to understand that behavior?
I don't have that problem with Prince. He's really a good boy.
And Prince is verbal, right? He talks? Okay, so you can speak with him and he can speak back? Okay. So when you saw some marks on him before today, did you ask him what happened?
Yeah, but like something that he won't talk to me about. Like I feel like someone's touching him. Like he shies off like that with me.
Okay. But what about somebody else? Like Dee or Joshua or anybody? Would he tell you if somebody else was him?
I haven't.
You haven't asked. And if you want me to believe that Dee was in your apartment, that Dee harmed your son, that Dee whipped your son or whatever, even if he thought he was disciplining him, even if he thought that was okay, whether you do or don't doesn't matter necessarily to me. Even if you thought it was okay, I'm sure you didn't imagine that he was going to kill him, right? I'm sure you didn't imagine that he was going to do something bad enough to harm him like this. But that's still the situation that we find ourselves in. Even if you did, I would guarantee you that I would never believe that you meant to do this. I would guarantee you never meant to do this. That you never thought it would come to this. That even if you disciplined your son by putting him in a corner or by with a quarter belt, I guarantee you never meant to hurt him.
Never a court.
Okay.
Or a hanger or anything else we're trying to say. Never.
Okay. So then we're back to who did. Because somebody did. He's got scars all over him. He's got scabs all over him that are fresh. And he has bleeding wounds that were just put there today, last night, at some point. So who did that? Who hurt your son? So what I'm trying to find out is when the last time was that he did not have any marks on him. How long do you think he's had those marks on him?
I mean, they look pretty fresh.
Okay. All right. Did he have any marks on him before he came into the picture?
Some from when he lived with the foster parents, but no.
Okay, about 6 months ago?
No, he didn't.
Okay. And
I mean, yeah, like, he always had like, not like that, no.
and what about with Eric? Did he ever have any marks on him when Eric was around?
Sometimes, but Eric didn't discipline him like that.
How did Eric discipline him?
You just yell at him,
Okay.
or chocolate, a slipper.
And are you sure that Eric hasn't been around
As far as
to deal with your son at all?
as far as I know, no, he's not been around my son.
Okay. Since November, December. I think we talked about. All right. Is that when Dee started showing up though? Is when you got rid of Eric? Is that when Dee came in?
A little bit after.
So right now, do you think that Josh was hurting him physically to cause those marks on him though? Is that you seem pretty sure that that was Dee? But now maybe we need to talk more about Josh. Was he the boys?
But he's not really physical.
Okay. Okay. Would you think that he's the boys that way?
I don't know. Honestly, I really don't. And I hope not, because I really trusted that man, you know?
So your suspicion though is that sometimes if he was in another
I said something like, I just started saying, like, 2 feet in, I said something.
to Joshua? What'd you say?
Oh, I said, I came like, why is he crying like that every time you change his diaper?
What'd you say?
He said, what do you mean? He's just crying because I want to put him down, which my son does cry when you want to put him down, but it didn't sound like that.
You thought it sounded more like a pain cry? Okay. All right. I can explore that further with him as well, certainly. But you don't think he's physical as far as the boys with anything, especially Prince?
While Ivy deflects the blame toward anyone other than herself, detectives turn their attention to Joshua Puent, the man who made the 911 call tonight.
What time do you think you got to her apartment today?
I don't know the exact time. I just know when I got there, I know something wasn't right. I went over there and she said, she opened the door and she's like, I think something's wrong with Prince. And I'm like, what? And then I go and I just seen him and he wasn't okay, man. So So I knew right then and there I had to go. You know, you had to get a hold of somebody.
And you said, what did you do?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about that statement there, because that tells me a lot. When you asked her, what did you do, is that based off of prior things?
No, she just started crying.
Okay. Did you feel like she had done something to Prince?
Yes.
What did you think she did?
I don't know, because there was kind of like, it looked like blood on his face, you know? That's why I started freaking out.
Okay. So you believe that she had done that?
Something happened to that boy.
How come you didn't use her phone?
Huh?
How come you didn't use her phone?
I said, you guys told her, I said, you gotta call somebody. And that's when she started crying. And I didn't waste no time, bro. I got out of there.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to be a part. I don't want to be, you know what I mean? I didn't ask for none of that shit, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I do.
I didn't, bro.
I do. I understand.
All I was to go in there just to check. That's it, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And the 1-year-old was in there too?
Yes, little Kobe was there.
Where was he at?
He was walking around.
Okay. Is Prince on any type of medication?
No.
Okay. Have you ever seen her discipline Prince before?
Not really. She just like she would just get after him, like because he was wet in the bed a lot.
Okay. Okay.
Wet in the bed.
So it's okay that she disciplines him. You know, we're not trying to get her in trouble, but it's important that we know what happened to him too, right?
Right.
Yeah. So have you ever seen her spank the kids at all?
Yes.
Okay. And when she does that, what does she use?
She usually she spanks them with her hand. I've seen her spank it with her hand. And then I've also seen her spank them with like a wire, not like a wire, like a little cord.
Okay. What do you think that cord belonged to?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Maybe like a I don't know, maybe like a vacuum or something.
Okay. Is it attached to something, the cord?
No,
or
it was just a cord.
Just a loose cord?
Yeah.
What color is it?
I want to see was it black or gray?
Okay. How long is it?
Like maybe about like that long. She just like I just seen her spank. I seen her hit him with it before.
Okay. I noticed some marks on him where there was kind of, and I'm gonna draw it for you, almost like a loop, like that.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be from that cord?
It probably could, I don't know.
Okay. Did you ever see her with anything that was a shape of a loop?
No.
No. Okay.
Listen, but I know something was wrong with him.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
And dang, that's not cool, man. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
It's not cool, bro.
No.
That little kid, that's up, man.
Mm-hmm. So here's the thing too, Josh, is
she had to be a kid.
Joshua isn't a saint in this story by any means. He saw Ivy Prince and said nothing to anyone. He told himself it wasn't excessive enough to report. It's worth asking how bad it had to get before he would have. But unlike Ivy, Joshua came forward tonight. He's the one who called 911. And what he tells detectives is about to directly contradict nearly everything Ivy just said.
And then you saw her use the cord on him a couple times?
Yeah.
How many times?
Well, I'm only seen her maybe like twice.
Okay. When she used the cord on him, was it?
She just like grabbed his like grabbed his arm up like that, and and she just swatted him on his ass.
Okay. What was his reaction to being swatted?
He cried. He just cried.
So it looked painful to you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Enough to leave him.
But, it wasn't. I didn't see her the kid. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Do you think it was enough to leave a mark on him?
Yes, maybe.
Okay. Do you think it was excessive?
I didn't see it. No, not excessive. She like spent that time. She him one time.
Mm-hmm. What did he do that she would spank him for? What was something that would set her off?
I guess like from him just like wetting the bed.
That was a big thing for her?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about Jacoby? Did she ever discipline him?
No. He's just a, he's just
Okay. We'd seen quite a few marks on Prince.
mm-hmm.
And you'd mentioned that she'd hold his arms up and swat him.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see her swat him in the leg area?
In the leg area?
Yeah.
Just you swat him like, when you hold like say like this, you hold him, she got like held his arm up like, and he's like, like trying to move his arm like hand like that,
Mm-hmm.
and she just swatted him on his butt.
Okay. Where does she keep that cord at?
I don't know.
When Joshua last saw Prince yesterday, his face didn't look like it did tonight. That means whatever happened to Prince's face happened in the last 24 hours, while Ivy was sleeping. Or says she was sleeping anyway.
Have you guys ever done together?
Yes, we have.
Okay, what was that?
We smoked together.
Okay. And so that was recently?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Does she use any other besides that?
As far as I know, no.
Okay. When you guys smoke how do you smoke it?
Just like with the pipe.
Was she seeing anybody else?
Yeah, there was another guy over there too, named Ohio.
Was that today?
No.
Okay.
Like like for that week that I was over there.
Mm-hmm.
She was at the house with him too. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So like there was like a few days out of that week where I didn't come over. You know what I'm saying?
Was he living there?
I don't know.
Okay. Who was there today?
Huh?
Who was at her house today?
I don't know. I wasn't there. I stopped by.
Okay. How was Ohio with the kids?
I never seen him.
Okay. Did she ever mention anything?
No, that she's not really, as far as like him pertaining to the kids or anything.
Okay.
And there was another, someone else too. I'm not really sure. Some other guy. I forgot. I don't know his name though. But I guess she told me like one time like he made like a big old scene and he was trying to fight people like in her parking lot.
What do you think happened to Prince?
I don't know, sir. I don't know. I just know he didn't look good, man. Like she might have or something. I don't know.
With Joshua's account laid bare, the detectives finally have the pieces they need. They could take this back into that room with Ivy and start to dismantle every excuse she's made, finally forcing her to answer for what happened to her son.
All right, so we checked in with our partners who have been talking to Josh as well, and they raised a couple of issues that Josh had talked about. Who's Ohio?
I was talking to you.
Is that the same as D or is it a different person?
Different person. He probably thinks that's who it is.
He would think that D is Ohio? Why would he think that?
I don't know. He just, when D pops up, he just thinks, I don't know.
Oh.
His own opinion.
When was Ohio last in the apartment?
It's been a while.
Days or weeks?
Like, I think it was 3 weeks.
3 weeks. Okay. So yesterday, did Prince have any marks on him? Any bruises? Anything like that you noticed on his face?
Just that little.
He had a thing under his eye yesterday? And you don't know what that was from, or you thought that?
So him running into the wall, like
Right.
that literally he ran into the wall, like.
Okay. And that was the only mark on his face?
That. It is nose right there.
What happened to his nose?
It's the same thing. That's I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know what.
So I saw bruises on Prince's face today, on his forehead.
He does that into the wall. That's what he's been doing the whole time.
Okay, did he do that today then?
I did not today.
Not today.
I seemed to. I was sleeping.
Okay. So yesterday, Josh didn't see any marks on his face. Now today, he has marks all over his face.
He had what?
Yesterday, he did not have any bruises on his head, and today he does. Do you have a black cord in your apartment that's looped with like a bread tie or something around the end of it?
I'm not. I don't pay attention. I'm not sure.
It's your apartment. It's your stuff.
Yeah, but those are like for my entertainment systems and stuff.
Have you ever your son with a cord like that?
No, with a belt.
Okay, but what about the looped black cord with a bread tie or something, a twist tie around the bottom? No? So why would Josh say that he's seen you do that?
I don't know why.
He's seen you lift Prince up by the arm and with the cord.
He see me look? Okay, that's
Yeah.
funny. That's funny.
Is he lying?
He's lying.
Okay, all right. When was the last time you used
I'm not gonna lie, a couple days ago.
Okay. With Josh or with somebody else?
Josh,
Okay. How many times have you used it in the last week?
like, twice.
Okay. Could have maybe have been more, maybe 5 times?
No.
The final tragedy of all this is that Jacoby, Prince's 1-year-old brother, tested positive for methamphetamine at the hospital. He was sitting on the bed next to his brother's body when officers arrived.
Okay, so what about his whole forehead that's all bruised?
That's what ran into the wall yesterday when Josh was the one talking to him and he kept running to the wall and Josh picked him up like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because I don't do that. I was in my room. I'm not dealing with none of that. Like, you can do, go ahead. I'm not gonna be involved in that. I'm not.
All right. So I think though we're getting to kind of a critical place here, Ivy, where I'm concerned about your truthfulness.
I'm telling you, I don't, everything I'm telling you is the truth.
Yeah.
This is my source talking about here. It's not,
It doesn't sound
it's just
like
a mess. I'm sorry, because I forgot about okay? But no.
I don't think you forgot about it. You just didn't want to tell me. I mean, we can be honest about that. You just didn't want to tell me.
Yeah.
Which I get. You don't want me to think poorly of you. And that's totally understandable.
But
I'm
everything
not
else,
here for your we know that. I'm here about your son. So, okay. So I appreciate you coming clean on that.
That's
I
it.
think we need to come clean on that.
I'm clean. That's it.
Why would Josh say that he's seen you to the court? That's not true.
I don't know. Maybe he did. Who knows? I didn't do it though. It's not seriously that I did anything.
Okay.
It was he seen the bruises on Prince's face. He was the one. Or Prince, or you? Like, no.
So you're willing to blame this on D, whether he did it or not. You want D to go to jail.
I'm not blaming on that. It's crazy. That's why you're being so truthful and honest that they're protecting me, right?
No, I'm here to protect Prince, actually.
Yeah, well, in general, my family, anybody, this backlash, like.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that the right person has consequences for this. Especially because if this was an accident, I would want the right person to come forward and have consequences that were appropriate for that if there was an accident. That maybe there needs to be some education on proper parenting, or maybe there needs to be education on disciplining and things like that. And that somebody who did this could actually be educated and fixed and go on to have some other kind of productive life if this was an accident. If this was a horrible accident.
I never had these accidents before. I have 2 others that never had these accidents.
So why now?
That's why I only have a week till my case is closed. Why would I do that? That was like, what? I worked so hard for 3 years for that?
Sure. And that sometime in the last 24 hours, some person, somebody, maybe D, maybe Josh, maybe somebody, I don't know, came into your apartment while you were sleeping and That's the only explanation you're providing for me, Ivy. The only explanation you're providing for me is that some unknown person came into your apartment.
I know. I told you this last time.
Your son again. Babs did it.
But can't tell me too, though.
That what? It's just concerning to me that.
I got my hand put on me too, though.
I know. And Josh is wanting to say that he's seen your son. But
I didn't.
if you won't admit to if you have, you're going to say you've never.
I told you I belt before. I told you that. I'm not hiding anything from you.
Okay.
I didn't know. I did not. I'm not.
Not at all in the last 24 hours.
I was asleep.
But D has. Where's the hesitation now?
Because
You want to be real quick to say you didn't do it.
I didn't.
But then when I say, okay, so then D did it, and you go,
Because I'm not proud of that. I'm not proud that I was getting punched on. My kid was getting proud of that.
did you see him?
I didn't see. I heard
What did you hear?
crying loud noises.
When? When, Ivy? When? Your son was in the last 24 hours. When did you hear this?
I didn't hear him get. I heard him before.
In the last 24 hours. This was not a spanking. This was and you're telling me that you found your son unconscious.
I didn't hear him crying.
That's because he was unconscious. So
I'm saying I didn't hear before that. I didn't hear him crying.
Okay. What did you hear?
I just heard him make those noises that I told you earlier. And then
And what was happening when those noises?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay, well,
I'm just tired of being blamed for something I didn't do, man.
But you want us to find out what happened to your son, right?
Yeah. Yes, I do.
Even if that means finding out that Dominique didn't do this. I think we're done with Josh.
Do you?
I do, yeah.
Okay.
And so if it's Dominique or something, I want to focus my energy on that. But I don't think Josh did this.
Okay.
Do you think that he did?
Maybe. Now, yes, maybe. Maybe I do.
Okay. You seem pretty set on you before.
Because I don't see Josh doing that. But I said I didn't have the
Well, you would know, you know him more than I do. I don't see him doing that either, but.
but I also
2 hours.
the touch my kitchen. No, hell no. When you change the diaper, my son starts screaming really loud. No, I didn't think that was either. That's when we started getting argued. I just started like, you're not who I thought you were.
Ivey was booked that night on second-degree murder. As the investigation continued, charges were upgraded. On July 3rd, 2025, Ivey pleaded guilty to homicide by. Before sentencing, the judge heard from Prince's foster parents, the people who had cared for him during the years Ivey spent fighting to get him back. Ivey was sentenced to 40 years in prison. Thank you for watching today's video. Don't forget to subscribe and check out one of the craziest cases I've ever covered right here.